Hello everyone, hope you're all okay today. Today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to go through some of my games, and what I'm going to talk through is I'm going to talk through my thinking process in the games, the way I think, and I'm going to show you some of my tactical play as well. Some of my games were a bit crazy, very chaotic I will say. There were some games I got quite lucky that I should have been completely cooked, but I got lucky. So my first game was against a national master. Now this was a very topsy-turvy up and down game. I didn't play that well. There were lots of missed opportunities by both of us, and yeah, I will show you the game. It was quite a topsy-turvy one. Right, so start off with e4. I go for my usual Scandinavian. God, it looks like quite a serious chess player there. Look at his focus in his profile pic. Looks very serious. So on we go. Queen takes d5, knight c3, queen a5. Now my mindset is to always get my pieces developed as quick as I can. Probably a6 was better in this position, and then maybe b5, which is still okay as well. As long as you play c6 here. And then you can drop the queen back to c7. So I'm going to go e6 here, developing the bishop. And then maybe I could have gone. Actually, no, I couldn't have, because if we go bishop there, then I can run it into knight d5, annoying stuff. For some reason, I thought I had bishop b4. I apologise. It's late at night. That's my excuse. By the way, I hope you are all coping this heat wave, because I have been struggling. I think today's probably been one of the hottest days. So I have only just sprung to life now, even though I'm recording this and it's like 10:30. Right. Anyway, I'll focus on the game. So we have queen back to c7, g4, attacking my bishop. Scary stuff. So I drop back. And then goes h4. So with the intention to go h5 and trap my bishop on g6. But white is already been very committal on the king's side. I think white is going to castle queen side anyway. h5 here is the best move. If I did something like a h6, then can I go g5? Oh wait, no, f4's the move. I was thinking of g5 takes and bishop takes, but f4 is a lot better because I'd get a lot of space then. Then I would be in a little bit of trouble. So h5 is the best move. G5 was the best move in that position. Then knight d5. Now I'm not sure why they took with the bishop. They even probably could have just left it, but I was threatening knight f4, so maybe they were worried about that. So now knight take back, and he blunders. Knight takes d5. And then what I completely missed, that I had to look after, I was so frustrated myself. I could have just played queen c6, and I certainly got a big advantage. Now they can go knight f4 here, but then I take the rook. I should probably be, I think I'm just completely winning here. I wasn't sure. I don't think they have any knight takes g6 business, because I'm just going to take the knight on g1. So I would just so I was completely winning after queen c6. Of course, I can't take on d5 because the queen is pinning my king. So yeah, I was quite annoyed I missed that. Quite annoyed. Anyway, I took it. White is a lot better, or even winning. I can't believe it. I missed rook to c1. So at this point I was tilting. Whenever you guys are tilting in a game, my advice would be to take a breath, think what you can do practically in the position to make it, least bad, or to put as much pressure on your opponent. That is the best way. It's the best way to go if you're losing. Say if you feel you're plus -2, and especially if you blundered as well, then just take a breath, just pause for a sec. The worst thing you can do is rush in and completely tilt. Just take your time. We all make mistakes. At the end of the day, we're not stockfish, are we? We're humans. Mistakes are going to happen, especially in a rapid play on, time control, like what I'm doing with 10-minute chess. So, I didn't really know what to do here. I thought taking the pawn here was the best scenario. And then, yeah, I saw knight d2. And king d7, takes. I thought the best case is I can at least trap the knight. And I've got some sort of activity, some of white's pieces, your knight on g1, the rook on h1, are not developed yet. So that's my only saving grace in the position. So then he goes knight f3, and then I go bishop to d6, threatening to take the knight on a8. Apparently this was a blunder, but I'm not sure what else he was going to do. It's not like he can save the knight. Let's see. So it's bishop c3 better. Because it would have taken the pawn. Okay. So yeah, bishop c3 would have maintained white's advantage. Well, he does it here. But I think the difference is that I can now defend it with... What am I talking about? I'm sorry, guys. I mean, the difference is because I've already got the knight now. So it would have been better to do it earlier. So then I go... I thought this was a really good move at first. I thought f6 was a great move because I had this following idea. Takes, bishop takes, and then I crisscross the bishop and the knight. No matter what white does, I'm going to capture one of these two pieces. So at first I thought this was good, but I should have gone here. But I didn't go bishop e5 because there was some king e2 business, which I saw. But then I could have played e5 and then maybe intending knight to d4, trying to exploit the pin. I think looking at that now, that would have been a much better solution for me. And in fact, it's saying that I'm better, which is beyond belief because I was exchanged now. And then say if we go any rook here, I think we just move out of the way with our king. And it was probably about equal here, I'd say. Actually, I didn't think I was much better in this position. And he goes rook to g1, which looks completely natural. And then I go e5 here. And then apparently knight e7 is a mistake. Well, actually it was a mistake. Not apparently. I should have just gone king here in this position. I think I was just afraid of him munching all my pawns. So I think that's why I played knight to e7. Well then I run into rook d1. I tried to defend the bishop with e4 as I thought it was the best move, which it was. And then knight comes into d4. Again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the pressure on white, with my bishop on d3, keeping his rook on d1 out of play. Even though I'm worse or borderline losing, I'm still keeping the pressure, asking the question, which is what you should do when you are in a losing position. So then king to e8. I wanted to try and go king f8 to kick the rook out on g7, and then potentially try and somehow get my rook on h8 into game. Maybe let's say you play this, you know, maybe a rook a7. Let's say you play a move like pawn to b4, and then I can go king f8. I can kick you out the way. Oh sugar, there's knight there though. That's annoying. Or maybe you can go f5 first, and then you can stop knight there. Let's say you play pawn here. You're trying to get your pawns rolling or something. Oh, I can even do bishop there. I can even go bishop here. Anyway, I'm rambling on with this variation. For knight to b5, I thought that was a good move. At first, I thought, because if I take, then you just snap off d6, and then I'm completely lost here. So I thought that was good by my opponent at first. And then apparently now here I am completely and utterly lost. What he was meant to do to exploit this, I think he meant to go knight to c7, then king d7. Oh, and a knight there. I don't think king here would do much, because I think you can just take. Oh wait, that's bad. Apparently that's not good. Is it knight there? Is that the best? Ah, okay, knight there's better. I know you take off that d3 bishop, which was like suppressing the rook from getting into the position. Ah, okay. To be fair, that was tough to see. That was tough to see. The knight there looked actually enough. I didn't see much better to do but to take. And then I actually thought I was back in the game after this combination. So I was like, yes, I got a fork. But then I completely missed rook takes b7. Now this is where it gets real interesting. This was one of the craziest endings I've ever had. So then I just take. Now I am threatening a checkmate in one, which my opponent didn't see at all, because I've only got the bishop and knight there, so you wouldn't think I had a checkmate there at all. But I had a feeling he'd fall into this. He plays, and you've probably guessed it already, rook to b8 check, which he probably thinks, oh my god, I'm winning the rook, And then I'm like, oh no, my rook's hanging. Oh no, he can take me. But I baited him into it. I completely baited it in. I was so happy to see that move. I was so thrilled because I knew the cunning trap I had set. So, rook to b8, king hops to f7, rook takes h8, and then he falls to knight f3, and that is a checkmate. That is one of the best checkmates I've probably done. So I was very happy about that. We'll go on to my second game out of the 4 that I am going to present to you. I'll try not to drag the games on too long. Let's go through this one. This was a better game. Now, I am white in this game, which is I'm sure most players' preferred option to be white. Well, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. When I was younger, I used to really struggle playing with the black pieces. I used to play the French, and I kept getting checkmated. So I was like, what's an annoying safe opening with not too much theory I can play? And I was like, Scandinavian is the one. Scandi is the one. I used to play the Caro-Cano, and I fell into that horrible panel attack. And I could barely draw a game. I was playing in tournaments, which my dad, by the way, shout out to Grandmaster Nigel Davis. He's my father, and he ferried me around to all these tournaments. So yeah, we've done our chess project together, and yeah, used to ferry me round to tournaments, and I didn't learn any openings, which was not good. It was like, right, Sam, if I'm going to keep taking tournaments, you've got to learn some openings. So I did that, and I broke through. I broke through from around probably 1750 rating around 2018 or so. I got to roughly about 1900, 1950, and then the whole COVID thing happened. That's another story though. But shout out to Grandmaster Nigel Davis. Check his website, Tiger Chess. It's got really good videos and information of how to build an opening repertoire. Anyway, I will go through this game. So I'll go for the London. We go about knight e5. Now queen a5 was a mistake. I made a mistake back as well. I should have just taken on c5. And he has to go b4. Because I was going to fork him if he takes on c5. And then I think I can just hang on to the pawn. I wasn't sure. So if he does takes, and then you can't take b2, so you go back there. I'm just a pawn up. I'm just simply a pawn up. I was a bit annoyed I didn't see that. I probably should have seen that. So then there was knight takes d7. And knight takes. Right, this is not the best move. I don't really have an advantage anymore after that. And then he goes knight f6, and again I had an opportunity to take on c5. I can't believe I didn't do it. So then we go knight to e5. Probably c4 was the best follow-up. You go c4, and then you can do like a b4 kind of thing. And then probably my best move is to go b3. But it looked a little skeptical, I wasn't sure. But black can't really take because I take back the a pawn attacking the queen. So then, I just get the pawn back this way, and then if takes, knight takes. So it's still decent for me, but I wasn't a fan. And then so there's takes, and then takes, rook takes. But then the problem with black's position is he's underdeveloped. And one tip is, when your opponent is really undeveloped like this and there's an open position, you go for the attack. You see what you can attack. Try and find ways to bring your pieces in to the attack as well. So then he goes bishop c8, best move. I go c4 to open up the position further. A castle. I just go rook c1, develop. And then knight e5, and then I take, takes back, and then I've got knights to c6. Now, black's best way out of it was to take, actually, yeah, oh yeah, it's check. I didn't even see it was check. Oh my god, I was going to say take on e7 and I just realised I was in check. Not good, not good. Sorry guys. And then we take back, and then we go queen to a3. So attacking the rook and defending the bishop on e7 at the same time. Probably my best move is to probably take. I've still got an advantage. This is probably black's best way to sort of get out of that mess there. I'll just check where the position was. Sorry, it was there. So he sacrificed the exchange. I don't think he saw that resource. Then takes. The knight there. Problem with knights at c3, although he is forking my queen and rook. I think I looked at queen d2, but I wasn't so sure. I looked at this move because he can't take my rook because it's pinned. But I don't like the look of bishop b4. Oh, but then I just take it. I could have just taken and take, and then just a piece up. I didn't see that. I've just preferred queen h5 because I was looking for sacrificial ideas, which is exactly what I did in a sec. Right, if I played h6, I think I can just go rook here. Because then with h6, when I do go rook here, then if the knight does move, I take the bishop on c8. Black is near enough lost here. It just needs one final blow. So g6, we sacrifice, we do Mikhail Tal style, sacrifice our bishop and takes, and then as Gotham says, we sacrifice the rook. Because then when he takes the pawn, when we take on g6, the king is now forced to go to h8, and then we set up a mating net, and black is forced to give up the material back. So then bishop f6 takes, rook takes, queen takes. Right, if we went king to, just trying to remember the follow up. King there, and then I just would have gone rook there. And there's going to be no way to stop the mate at all on a mating attack. You only have one check with knight e2, which is going to be in vain because I can just go king h2, and the queen hasn't got any checks to give either. So I'm going to pin the bishop, queen to c7, but then that runs into the majestic queen e6 check, and you can't take my queen with the bishop because you are pinned. So we take with the rook. I'm not sure why black played on, but I guess he just was admired by how well I played. I probably should. I just realised I could have gone rook g8 check. I went queen there. This is still good. And then rook g5 checkmate. So yeah, that was that, guys. I'm going to show you my third game now. It goes back to my point. When the opponent is lacking early development, it's faffing around a bit like that, then you want to take initiative, develop your pieces, attack when there are opportunities. Some positions, you know, then there aren't going to be opportunities to attack. You sort of have to try and think how to describe it, sort of spidey away from the position, put your pieces on good squares, especially in like sort of close-up positions, you know, make improving moves to your positions. You know, because there's not all positions you can, you know, force the issue, in a sense. So that was that one. We will go through this one. But I was playing as white. So here we go again. My usual London system, as I am incredibly boring. So it goes knight h5. Now in this position, problem is if I can go bishop to e5 here, f6, then if he goes f6, I just checkmate you. That would be the funniest checkmate ever. Oh, I wish they played f6. That's a shame. So knight takes. I go for pawn takes because this knight is awkwardly placed on h5. Now he has to do this weird manoeuvring stuff. But then this is where black loses time and they gain time. Goes back to what I was saying before about, you know, time in the openings. So I've got a nice time advantage. Now I start to open a position as none of black's pieces develop at all. So knight into f5. Look at my knight hopping in. And then I just open a position further. I go e4. Takes. I take. Now I missed a huge opportunity here. I don't know why I didn't play it. I had knight e4. Now I don't know why I completely missed it. Black can't stop either knight f6 or knight d6. He has to stop knight f6 because it's going to fork the king and the queen with a horrible looking move, knight to g8. Now I think I can go. Where does it want me to go here? Let me have a look. Or maybe that's why I didn't play it, because I may have saw this in the game. Can I go knight here now? Oh no, but he just takes it. Oh, I wasn't seeing it. Is it bishop c4? Is that what I missed? Oh, but then queen a5. Where's the winning blow? I'm trying to find the winning blow here. Can I just go rook? I should just be winning. Although this is like a clearly much better position for me. I can't see the winning blow. Maybe there isn't one here. If anyone sees any winning ideas at all, then please tell me in the comments. But it's a very good position for me in that one there. I thought bishop there was still good, and the queen is on a really precarious position. So then we hop into c4 with the knight to f5. Now g4 looked a little bit crazy at first, but I promise I had a good idea behind it. My intention with g4 was to pretty much force the knight back to g7. Well, it could have gone knight e7, but then I really would have had knight d6. I'll just show you. So if it went back there, then I would have had knight d6, which would have been completely, utterly crushing there. Because the king would have to move. I can either put the rook on the d file or just simply take on f7. So, knight back to g7. Now, I go in God mode again. I go for the majestic bishop takes g6. But in these sort of positions, if black isn't developed, it hasn't got many pieces round and stuff, and you know, if you see like potential sacrifice that could work, if your instinct is telling it could work, then not all the time, but in some scenarios, your instinct is probably right. You've got to have confidence in yourself and back yourself to sometimes go for, you know, some risk, you know, because some risk is good risk. We take. Now the king has to go walkies, and we go on an epic king hunt. I do love a king hunt. A king hunt is great. Now I wanted to make sure the king couldn't escape and hide away on b8. So hence why I played rook to c1. Because say if I just checked, which I could have done, I just wasn't a fan, because one, you can go queen e7, and then say if I try and keep the queens on, just as an example, I didn't want the king to be able to hide away. And I have knight here, and then bishop there. Even though the king is still very exposed, it's got some wriggle room. So I didn't want to take any chances. So one thing to do if you are on a king hunt is try and block the king's escapes when necessary. Set up discovered attacks like what I've done here. Now if you go king to c7, say if I go knight there, king there, and then I take c8, and that'll be simply a checkmate. I go rook a to c1, king c7. I do go there, and he goes king d8 to escape the checkmate, but then that falls into knight f7 check. I had a little think here. I was trying to look for a checkmate. I probably fought for too long. It took me 30 seconds to take the rook. Then queen f7, and then I go rook into c7, bishop d7, and then the bishop is pinned. Spain tries to defend it with rook to d8, but that is going to be to no avail, because after queen there takes, king has to go to e8 here. I mean, he could have taken the pawn, but I would have taken the bishop. And then I go knight into e5. Position was pretty hopeless here. Bishop c7, and then f7, delivering a checkmate. So yeah, well, that was that game. I'm just going to take a quick drink. Right, I'll go on to the last and final one. Right, this one's hilarious. I'll tell you why. My opponent spammed out, not even exaggerating, about 6 to 10 draw offers. In the opening, I was playing the game and it popped on my screen. Offer, draw, offer, draw, offer, draw. And I was like, what's he afraid of? Well, I'm about to find out in this game. Because in the end, he gets pretty much outplayed. So the Scandinavian. So he goes c3 here, and I was like, this is a good opportunity to go c5. And then we go knight into c6. I feel a better move would have just been to go c4. But actually, no, maybe that's not that good. Just thought because it pushes the queen back. But then d4 is being targeted there. But anyway, he takes, and now I'm completely fine. In fact, I quickly get a better endgame. Because white's pieces are a little bit passive. You've got the bishop on e2 not doing much. Your rooks are a bit locked in, although they're connected. I have got every single piece developed, bear in mind. Rook a to d8, knight to f1, so again a bit passive, h6, bishop h4, g5. I already start getting a much better position, and then I go knight into e4. You see how proactive I am in this position, and he's offered probably about 5 draws here, which was a little bit slimy given his username, Good Slimy Crystal. Interesting user. Oh, he blunders with knight to e5. I think maybe the pressure was melting and White wasn't sure what to do here. So we take, bishop takes. I take with the knight because I've got lots of discovered checks. The engine was not a fan of it. And then if bishop takes h8, I can simply go knight takes d1. If the king does go, well, the king has to go. Actually, no. You can go bishop there. Would have been a resource there, but then I can just take it. Well, maybe he saw that he had to go to h8, and then I do check and take the bishop. So I didn't take rook here straight away, because then he would have taken my bishop and then be attacking my rook on h8. So I just drop back here, maintaining the pin. And he goes rook into d5. I could have, trying to think why, I could have taken the rook here as well, but I wanted to play f6 instead. I didn't want to force the position here. And takes, bishop here, then knight into e4. Now I'm just winning completely after taking on c3. So he goes bishop f3, trying to do counterplay. When you are in a winning position like this, the best way to play is to suppress the counterplay. Try and trade the pieces off as you can. Unless if you've got checkmating, really good checkmating ideas and chances, the best way to proceed to simplify things is trade the pieces off. Make it much easier on yourself here. Because now white has nothing. Now I just go knight e3 to trap the knight. And then the best way to play in these endgames, just slowly bring your king, your pawns forward. You don't have to rush these, unless if it is a pawn race, of course. f4. Now an important thing is, I could have taken, but I just didn't want to let the king in. Even though this is still completely winning, don't get me wrong, I could have gone king there. but I wanted to let him take. So I just go king here, and then king there, and now I take, because I'm trying to think why I took. Because of king takes. Sorry, my mind froze, and then just bishop here, winning the h2 pawn. So he goes h4, I go b5. Oh, and this is the funniest part. He started offering me draws here, and I couldn't believe it. I was just being careful of any stalemating, slimy ideas he may have had. Yeah, he offered me about 5 draws here. And you know what? I thought I'll make a second queen. No, I'm just gonna embarrass him after like offering 10 draws, 10 draw offers. So yeah, these were my games of the week. If anyone wants to send me any games, honestly, feel free. Take a look. But yeah, it goes back to my point. Develop your pieces. You know, look for tactical chances if there are any. You know, all depends on how your opponent plays. Like I said in some of those games, you know, notice how my opponent didn't put pieces on, you know, great squares or develop them, you know, the best way. So I was able to like exploit it, sort of thing. But yeah, that's my video of today. I should probably go to bed now, but I'll probably stay up another 2 hours or so, because I am a night owl. I can't go to sleep early. But I'll try and do a video next week or so. And yeah, hope you have a great weekend, guys, and thank you very much.